Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us. This is the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, there's a lot to talk about on the show tonight. As always, in the fast-paced and amazing world of sports. You know, it's Thursday. We're going to travel to Washington and link up with our friend Sonny Young in the first part of the show. After that, we're going to be talking about the World Athletic Championship that's going to start tomorrow. We'll talk about that on the show. We'll talk about the Super Eagles. Coach Kenneth Raw has released a squad of 23 players that will play in that blockbuster friendly against Brazil. You know, it's a prestige friendly. He's released it. Are you surprised with the names included? Some fresh call-ups. And are you surprised with the ones that didn't make the cut? And as well, we're going to be talking about the under-17 team, the game they played today. We talked about it a little yesterday. We're going to do that in detail today. And also, we talked about what Edo State is doing as well as they're preparing for the sports festival next year. That's going to be the outlook of the show today. All you need to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy what we're going to bring to you tonight. But just in case you're watching us for the first time, we always like to let you know that you're an integral part of this show. We want you to be a part of what we're doing here tonight. And so, in case you're joining us for the first time, for those who've been watching us for a while, they know what to do. But in case you're watching us for the first time, you're going to just do what you're going to see on your screen shortly. You're going to get across to us on Facebook, that's Channels Sports, and on Twitter, Channels_Sports. That's how you can get your thoughts across to us. You can speak up and be heard. Of course, you let your voice be heard across the globe. We tell you that you can give your opinion on issues raised on this program. And peradventure, there's something you think we should be talking about that didn't even get a mention. You can always push us in that direction. We'll do your bidding. We'll follow your lead. And, of course, talk about some of the things that you want us to talk about in your amazing, fast-paced world of sports. All right, before we go to Washington, let me quickly introduce my partner. Starts off the show with me, Damilala Onifade. It's good to have you here today when there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's good to be back when there is a lot to talk about.
All right, so as we wait to link up with Washington, we'll do that shortly. But let's quickly take the sports festival out of the way.
Yeah.
Even during the bidding, Edo State have always told us, look, we're ready. We got assurances from the governor. They made the bid. They won. And at a very high level, they've been showing us, I mean, we've seen pictures of Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. I mean, everything, all the signs are there that, you know, they're showing us the state of readiness. And the news is that, look, they've released names of, they've put people into subcommittees. And, I mean, everything is going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's something fantastic. It's something to applaud. You know the history of the sport festival. We struggled for a lot of times. And this was one of the reasons that when the last edition held and the sport minister has to pull his weight behind it to ensure that that one held, I said, irrespective of what you think about the person of the minister, then you just have to credit them.
You have to.
You have to, because that is what has given birth to this. If we've not had that in Abuja the last time, we probably would still be struggling looking for who to host it. But he had to take it up and say, okay, let's bring it to the federal capital and let it hold. And then so it's like kickstarting the whole idea of the sport festival all over again. And that's what we're seeing. And it's good that Edo is taking it from there, and it will have been terrible for us to have another lull of sports festival, keep postponing. But the fact that they're doing this shows that it also means that when you have the right people in the right place, you probably will get the right result.
And one of the things they said, I mean, coming from the deputy governor as high as that, is saying that, look, they want to use the sports festival as a launch pad. Yeah. They want Edo State to become a sports hub. We know when it was the old Bender State, we know how, you know, I mean, a lot of achievements. And even for those who follow the National Sports Festival closely, even though Delta seems to be on the top, Edo is not always
not too far
away. And so no surprise that this is coming from the highest level in the state. I'm talking about the Deputy Governor, Philip Shuaibu, talking about the things that they hope to achieve with the 2020 National Sports Festival and all the things that they are planning to do. And the key people that they have brought into some of those subcommittees and positions just shows is a statement of intent Let's just listen to the key stakeholders telling us, giving us a progress report and telling us what they hope to achieve with the 2020 National Sports Festival.
Sport in Nigeria without naming Edo State. You cannot talk about coaches in Nigeria without referring to Edo State. Every sector of sports you talk about, Edo State must feature. We want to return Edo State to that lost glory because today, you agree with me that we are struggling to get sport back to Edo and turn Edo to the real headquarters of sport in Nigeria. We want to use this event to relaunch ourselves back to what it used to be and what it ought to be now. So we have a great task ahead. And this task is not insurmountable because what I see here today, this is the heart of Edo, and these are the people that can make it work.
We promise to deliver a games, the National Sports Festival like no other, that has never been seen in this country. We are going to mobilize all resources, both federal resources, state resources, local government resources, and private enterprise resources to ensuring that this is a game to be, will be a game to be remembered. The government, we all know, does not tolerate mediocrity, and we will not fall below the standard set by its administration.
All right, I like the words I'm hearing. Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu talking about returning Edo State to where it used to be, where it ought to be. And you had, one of the key stakeholders talking about, staging the kind of games that will live long in our memories, that will be better than anything we have ever seen. I was at 2012, Echo 2012. Even if it's better than that, I mean, that's
then
good.
It's close to excellence.
So it's good. But I mean, your takeaways from.
My takeaway from that is listening to the two of them. I think what is key to me is I'm not getting the usual soundbite. We just want to host and prove that Edo can host. No, it goes beyond that for them. From what you can hear, you're hearing that we want to use this as a launch pad. And if you're using it as a launch pad, it means that the facilities, there must be a plan to keep them. There must be a plan to keep sport development for athletes. And all that is, I think what is just next is after the sports festival, we would like the plans to unfold so that the facilities do not rot away. And then some of these athletes do not just go away after the sports fest. There must be a plan to keep them together, to keep developing them and keep engaging them.
All right, so that's it on the sports festival. We'll come back to some of those other issues later on.